Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Who We Would, an unofficial Doctor Who watch along podcast. My name is Ben. Today we are discussing the sixth Doctor episode, The Mark of the Rani. But before we get into the episode, I'm here with my co-host Cam. How you doing today, Cam?
I am doing pretty good. Just having we're recording this on a Saturday. We don't usually record on Saturdays. So it's just like, I'm chilling. It was a chill Saturday. Went to Costco. Didn't get a hot dog, if that's what you're gonna ask.
What's the thing that the Costco guys, not the
Ch-
cookie,
The
but
chicken
the
bake?
chicken bake? Did he get a
My mother
chicken
got the chicken
bake?
bake. I got a pizza. My mother loved her chicken bake. I did get myself a
Wow.
rotisserie chicken as well. I love Costco. I hate like I hate busy places, but Costco is somehow isn't a problem just because of how well organized Costco is.
Mhm.
I love like going there and being knowing like I'm gonna save $1. It's
I
price
don't think
effective.
there's one around me. I've always th
There's not a lot.
I thought it'd be interesting to go to, like, a Costco very different, but maybe not that different. An IKEA would be cool to go to. All we got around me
My
is the BJ's. Similar kinda
yeah.
wholesale concept, but
Yeah.
different.
I've gone to both. I prefer Costco. And also just want to point out my Costco is literally right next to my IKEA.
Ah,
So I right next to each other. I could get Swedish meatballs and a chicken bake and put them together. So you've never
best
been
of both
IKEA?
worlds. Mm-mm, never.
Oh, dude, it's like Disney World. You gotta go. It's Disney World, but instead it's all Swedish furniture.
Wow. Maybe we'll have to do a field trip.
And like some like like it's impressive. Like it's similar to Costco where it's just like it's so like organized and designed. Like it's just like
Just in
it's
awe
Swedish.
of the artistic
Like, it's Swedish,
magnitude
so
of
it's
it.
like it's not like it doesn't make you proud to be American, but it makes you proud to at least be human when you go to IKEA.
Is that much of a crowning achievement for humanity? The
Oh, yeah.
IKEA furniture store?
Man on the moon, sure, we did that, but we have IKEA, so that's really the marvel of the 20th century. But you know what is the marvel of the 20th century, Ben?
Doctor Who?
No, well, Doctor Who could be, but what is it is the Mark of the Rani.
True.
Unless how are you doing today, Ben? I never ask you because so much of this is like you ask me.
Yeah.
It's so much harder for me to say, "How are you doing today, Ben?" So guess what, Ben? This is right now. This is what I'm going to say. How are you doing today, Ben?
I'm doing fine. Uh, work today,
Mm.
kinda hurt my back, but I'm okay. Um, just watched some Simpsons. I'm on season 5 now.
Ooh,
It's really good.
yeah,
As someone who has seen with no nostalgia for Simpsons, it's really damn good.
yeah. I'm very curious to see when you stop.
I don't know. I mean, I've joked with my mother like, "Oh, are we gonna watch 36 seasons of this?" And she said, "Yeah, yeah." But I'm assuming at some point we'll get sick of it. But
Yeah.
right now I'm still in the like, "Damn, that was a good episode."
Have you seen the IMDb chart?
Yeah, it's gone through my Twitter feed a couple times.
It's crazy. Of just like it's all green. It's there's a point where it's all green, and then it just gets like more progressively like yellow, and then just all yellow.
Yeah. Seems like once that we get to double digits is when it might be less worth my time.
Yeah. Like it's season 10, 9, season 9, 10 is when it's like starts to fall apart. Watch like, some of the more highlight episodes and then watch the movie, which you've already seen. But
Yeah,
that's gonna be one that you're gonna have more context now.
true.
Be able to get some of the references of it. Oh, I remember that from that episode, and I remember that from this one. And
But yeah, Simpsons, really good. Am continuing. indefinitely.
Yeah, there's not a segue to Simpsons is good,
Not
but
really.
you know what isn't good?
Is Ronnie really in this season 24 and then nothing until 2025?
Yep. Not even like she wasn't even in Big Finish.
That's crazy.
There's like some like rumor that like Pip and Jane wasn't allowing her to be in Big Finish or something like that.
So, The Mark of the Rani, third serial of season 22, broadcast February 2nd to February 9th, 1985, in two parts, of course, on BBC One. This was written by Pip and Jane Baker,
The first
who
married couple to write a Doctor Who script, I believe. I don't think there would be any other ones. Maybe in the '60s that I'm not thinking of. I think they are the first married couple, and I think only married couple.
so this is their first story, and they will go on to write for Terror of the Vervoids, part 14 of The Ultimate Foe, and Time in the Rani. This was directed by Sarah Hellings, who this is her sole credit, produced by John Nathan Turner.
Give us a synopsis, Ben.
For a quick synopsis, the Doctor visits the home of Robert Stevenson, who, on the eve of the Industrial Revolution, has called together a meeting of all of the great minds of his age. Whilst there, the Doctor also discovers the Master and an unscrupulous time lady known as the Rani. But why? Which that comes from the Doctor Who Classic YouTube channel.
Which posted the missing episodes
They did.
and also
This,
posted a couple other missing episodes, which is really cool. That now it's like it seems like they're gonna do in
yeah.
that
Or
channel
I think
every
the
single
term would be
episode of Classic Doctor
orphans,
Who.
where it's just like one
Yeah,
part that we have. They're kind of running out of content to keep posting every
yeah.
few days. Like they started doing like, here's a black and white 4:3 of an animation that we already posted. So Cam, what did you think of the Mark of the Rani?
I did not like Maka the Rani. I did not like it one bit. Uh, I found the story to be pretty forgettable, pretty boring, pretty much one of those episodes you're like, "Yep, this is why the show died. This is one of those episodes that killed Doctor Who." It's in I think that camp of something like a Terminus or a Power Crawl or a Underworld where I'm just like, I am just bored by this. This is not doing anything interesting in my opinion. Even though that you are bringing this new villain, the Rani, a new Time Lord, this should be so exciting, but I'm just pretty much bored by it. Because we have the Master there, it's not really does not really give this new villain, the Rani, time in the spotlight. So instead, we just have this pretty bad, forgettable episode of the Master and the Rani and the Doctor, the Sixth Doctor Perry are there. That's how I felt about Maka the Rani. What did you think about it?
I went in with the lowest possible expectations, and I ended up thinking it was fine. It's definitely not great, but
Yeah.
it was watchable. Strangely, I this felt like I think I liked Colin Baker the most here than I
Yeah.
have so far. Like I mean, he's still an asshole, absolutely, but maybe I found myself endeared to him a little bit more. Seeing there was a lot of like moments of affection and like always like protecting Perry
Instead of strangling her.
instead of strangling her. Yes, and in the similar fashion, I don't love him, but I don't hate him anymore. So
Yeah.
that's something.
Yeah, I would agree with you that I think Colin this is the best Colin has been, I would say, throughout his run. This is the first time where there's a glimmer of like, okay, I can hang out with this guy. He's not that
Yeah,
annoying. I think, like you said, it helps that he is constantly is worried about Perry when he and herself when himself and her are in peril. he is worried about Perry, as well as like he is he has the him being able to like have that them going to historical and having his like knowledge in the historical setting kind of works more when it's just like an alien setting and he's just a know-it-all. It seems like in this setting he's much more teaching Perry instead of just being like, "Well, Perry, this is the facts and you should just know this already."
Yeah, I think it worked. He worked here a little bit better. I even chuckled at the peripheral vision
Mm,
line. I thought that was funny. As for the Rani and the Master, I think they had an entertaining dynamic with each other. I think sure it might have been better if the Rani had a chance to stand alone. Uh, but they are different enough as fellow exiled Time Lords that I thought it worked. I think when it's all with throwing the Doctor in there and having all three of them yelling at each other, I found entertaining. Uh, like at the end towards the end. Um,
mm.
I mean, I think I'm going beyond just general thoughts, but like I thought it was fine.
Much hotter than me, where I think this is just throw it in the garbage can. Put it in the incinerator. We
I'm
this oh sorry.
sure we will have much worse.
Like throw it in the garbage can. That's all I have to say. Because like I just I just don't care about anything that happens in this story. I feel like it's just one of those stories where like things just happen where I don't really like I never am invested in the Mark of the Rani throughout its runtime.
Yeah, I think I've had this similar reaction. I feel like a couple weeks ago where I find this industrial revolution Luddite stuff that's not really doing much for me, but the Time Lords plus Perry are all interesting enough to make me interested in the story as a whole.
Yeah. See, I just didn't find that stuff to be as interesting, as well as like, I gotta say, like, to give the story some props. What I did like about the story is the actual like production stuff. I think
Mhm.
it does a really good job with doing the historical settings that like wherever they shot this. There's some credit at the end with some cooperation with wherever they shot this. It looks believable. It's one of the best like historical settings of classic Doctor Who, where like the costumes and like the whatever location that is, probably some
It's
historical
done
society
on
thing.
at the Bliss Hill Open Air Museum in Shropshire.
But like it all of it feels more authentic. It's so much better than like what they could have done in the studio.
And it's always nice when we have locations over a
Yeah.
studio.
And you really definitely feel it with a story like this because those settings outside are really great. And then you get to the interiors and like, oh, this is just a set on the BBC studios.
This is not the best segue, but speaking of interiors at the BBC studios, I found this as a interesting part of the story. What do you think of the Ronnie's TARDIS?
It's
That's a
kind of cool.
pretty unique design, like the
Yeah.
time rotor as like these spinning circles. That's kind of
Yeah.
cool, right?
Yeah. It's definitely it's more interesting than like what we get in the Master's TARDIS sometimes where it's just like, oh, it's just the TARDIS, but now it's black. It's
Yes.
like we got to
They
do
put it a
something a
different
little
coat
bit
of
different than
paint
that. Um, they probably spent a decent amount of money on that, like the console.
for just one, unless it comes back in 2 seasons, the same set,
I
but
don't think it
just one
does.
story. Um, I guess just the console is cool. The,
Yeah.
like, jars of, uh, dinosaur fetuses doesn't really add to the atmosphere.
No. And it kind of feels cheap. I do like the concept of the Ronnie though. like having her be much more of like a scientist background and not just being another female version of the master, which it kind of is, but like having that little layer in there that she's much more like I am a scientist instead of I am just crazy version of I'm just a crazy time lord. She is just kind of like this corrupt scientist. It's like that's kind of cool.
She is driven by scientific curiosity instead of vengeance and anger.
And like I think Kate Mara does a fine job this episode. I just don't think she's given that much of a performance just because we have Anthony Ainley there.
Yeah.
So it's not like she's able to soak up the spotlight so much just because that spotlight is being filled by Anthony Ainley. But because Kate Mara's there, Anthony Ainley's not able to take the spotlight. So we have both of them not having fun really throughout the story.
I wonder how this was originally conceived, if this was always a two Time Lord story, or if, like, is this a master story that they threw, here's a girl master to boil it down in also, or is this a Ronnie story that J&T was like, no, we need the master. Ronnie isn't good enough, or something like that,
Yeah.
or Eric Sayward. I guess it wouldn't necessarily be J&T.
I just wanted like some more layers to the story. It feels like it's a pretty like light on the surface type of story where it's just the doctor gets there and then he has to figure out what the master and the Rani are doing. And then he finds out and he stops them and it's the end of story. There's
Yeah.
not like any other layers to the story. At least that's what I got out of my first time watching it. Maybe there's something hidden in the surface that I'm not aware of on the Mark of the Rani.
What I want to mention or talk about. So the Doctor and the Master are not the only Time Lords that are not on Gallifrey, because there's the Rani, which makes it, I feel like, going back to the War Games in Color, where they try to imply that the War Chief is
Hmm.
also the Master. Especially silly, knowing that even later there's other people. Why does the War Chief need to be the Master?
Who knows? It's
There
very
can
dumb.
be the monk and the War Chief and the Master and the Rani and the Doctor all running throughout the cosmos. I think
Yeah.
that's
But
fine.
that's part of the problem with Doctor Who sometimes with Doctor Who. And it's just basically any big franchise like Doctor Who, because Star Wars has the same problem. I don't know how much about Star Trek has this problem. But at least with Star Wars and Doctor Who, it's that small universe syndrome of everything needs to be like we have to connect everything together. And it's just like nothing everything doesn't need to connect. We can make this universe be really big and expansive. Not everything has to be revolve around the Doctor and the Master or the Daleks. And it's just
Mm.
like in Star Wars, not everything has to revolve around the Skywalkers or Tatooine. It's like we can create this to be a big universe. Let's not just like
Yeah,
shrink it down. And it seems like so much of the creative right now is like, oh no, we gotta like, what if this thing's connected to that thing? It's like, but we don't have to connect things. We can just have them be their own thing, and that's kind of cool that like we're building out this universe instead of just shrinking it down.
you know. I mean, we're just in a culture right now of nostalgia and
Mm,
IPs, and it's easier to sell more Skywalkers than it is for, all right, fuck that. Now it's the Jaywalkers on the other side of the galaxy doing
mm.
completely other stuff. I
Like
think,
jaywalking.
I know, crazy illegal shit like that. Um, I've always thought that Star Wars can be more than just that. Like, we
Yeah,
don't
but also like
necessarily need Jedi for it to be Star Wars.
no, but also like to tie it back to Mach the Rani. It's like it's also this conversation is even more added to like bringing back the Rani last season of Doctor Who. Like
Yeah.
finally, like you said, after all those years, it's like we're bringing back the Rani out of everything. Like, does the Rani need to be brought in back?
What is a Rani? Is that a
I don't know.
title? Is that a name, but that they still call her it's the Rani, like all the other titled Time Lords?
It's a Hindi term for queen.
Gotcha. Okay, so it is a title and not a weird way of saying Mrs. Rani.
Yeah.
What about Perry this episode?
Honestly, like you were saying about Colin, I kind of liked Perry this episode. She wasn't as annoying as she was the past couple episodes. That's one of the highlights I would say is the Doctor and Perry in general are a
Okay.
little bit more subdued in the story. It's not as she's not whining as much in this story, and she is like a little bit more like trying to help the Doctor out instead of just being like, ah,
I
I need
don't
help.
understand. Just a little bit of whining. Not
Yeah,
not as much. What else is there to talk about?
I
I wanna
don't know.
talk about the
I don't
cliffhanger
have
because
that
I
much
think
more to
that's
say
probably the
about
best part of the episode.
what is the best part of the episode. Then.
The cliffhanger.
Um, so before we get to cliffhanger, let's do our segments.
Yes.
So best and worst special effect.
Worst has to be the, the rubber
Yeah.
dinosaurs, especially when they're breaking out of the beakers and it's like I think it's supposed to be, like, growing or something,
Yeah,
but
it's
it's
supposed to be
just
growing.
the same thing that is, like they're, like, poking with a stick or something. It looks really bad.
Yeah. Then best special
Best.
effect. It's probably I think it's might be stretching too much to say effect, but the location filming. That's an effect.
I would say Ronnie's console.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
also
that's I
a
don't again,
thing.
that's probably not an effect. That's just a prop.
And then also like maybe we could consider effect some of the stuff where like the doctor this the like the doctor the stunt work in this
Oh,
of like the doctor
I totally forgot.
uh in like the I don't know what you call it. Like the he's like trapped to like
Yeah.
this like whale thing that he just goes down a hill and then he goes on a fucking the cliffhanger
Yeah, yeah.
of like
I should
that
probably
effect is cool.
another candidate for the worst one is the tree
Yeah.
that is a suit that somebody's in, and it, like, grabs Perry. I do like, going off topic slightly, the bit with Colin having to escape, and it's very tense. Of he's, like, tied up, hanging above a
Yeah.
bomb that will turn him into a tree.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
do also like that scene. I was thinking throughout of like how deep is that hole? Is that even a hole? Do they build that? And like Colin is just like just hanging himself up. He had a lot of upper body strength to do that for that long, right? What do
I
you think he had
actually
support?
looked at behind the scenes. He did have, like there was, like, a bar supporting him
Damn.
or something. Um, and also, on Letterbox through Letterbox, I was able to find someone linked to a Tumblr post of a story from behind the scenes, which I don't know how 100% accurate it is, but they the crew accidentally, like, between takes or whatever, he was just still tied up, and they accidentally let it started raining, and they accidentally left him behind, and they realized, and they had to come back for him. They left him in the woods on a public path, and there was like people walking by, and they saw this guy dressed up in weird clothes, tied up on a pole, and they're like, "Hello," into something. Don't know how 100% accurate it is, but it's a funny story.
How to improve this story? Get the master out of here.
Yeah.
Let us focus on the Ronnie, and then like,
Yes.
well, how else to fix this? Just have whatever Ronnie's plan be a little bit more like visual or
How can you
like
get more visual than the
you know
mark?
but like it's just so just like it's nothing. Have it be more of a grand thing.
He's gotta
Like
collect the
it just
brain
feels
fluid. What is
it,
there to
it,
say?
it needs to build up to something grand, and the story never builds up to that grand
No.
finale. It needs stakes. All right, are we on a cliffhanger, Spawn?
Yeah. So the soul cliffhanger, Perry pushes the doctor. He's like strapped into a trolley. They're trying to escape, and he pushes, or she pushes him in the wrong direction, and he's like, Perry, no. And then he careens through the village. It's all downhill. Perry running after him, and eventually the doctor is stopped by some of the Luddite men with marks, and they put him on top of a mine cart and push him towards the pit to the mine. How is he going to get out of that?
Who knows?
I
Who
found it
knows? We'll never find
entertaining
out.
and funny.
That is how Doctor Who got canceled right then and never came back.
How'd you like that cliffhanger, Cameron?
It was fine. It was a cliffhanger.
I do also want to add they play the Doctor Who melody twice in this episode.
Yes, always
Once
lovely.
when
I
they
wish they did it more.
yes, they did just last episode.
Yes.
But they play it when the Master and the Doctor's talking like, "You'll never see your TARDIS again. We're gonna throw it down a pit," and we get the ooh, wee, ooh. And then again when the TARDIS is careening down the hole. That's the end for the TARDIS, and it's good. So, Cam, how would you rate the mark of the Rani?
I'm gonna go just a solid 4. I did not like the Makarani. I'm one of those people that just was not impressed at it with it at all.
Hmm. Do I like this more than Attack of the Cybermen? That's a good question. Do a 6.4, an average rating of 5.2.
Interesting.
And to talk about the polls, Doctor Who magazine does a poll every decade since the 90s. And as always, they treat the trial of a Time Lord as one story. So, taking that into account, the Mark of the Rani is rated number 5 of 8 in 2023, 2014, and 2009, and in 1998, 6th. And at 5th place, it is right above Attack on the Cybermen and right
Hmm.
below The Trial of a Time Lord. So, according to this, it's the best story that we've watched other than Vengeance on Varos, which you don't seem to agree with.
I do not agree. And then when we look at the full poll in 2014, it ranked 182. Above it is New Earth, a 10th Doctor story, and below it is The Edge of Destruction, a first Doctor story. Well, Edge of Destruction, underrated story. That's not
Oh,
as
yeah.
bad as a 182 slot. Sorry, 183 slot. Like, come on, guys, let's get it together.
It's similar. Not much plot, but it's just like a character piece.
It's a fun time.
Yeah. Get to see more of the TARDIS. I want to see more of the TARDIS. It's not just the one room.
Join us next week. Two doctors.
Hell, yes. I'm ready for Pat.
You're Norbert
I am
Holmes. Back
sad
at it.
that this is the last of him, though. And I think the last multi-doctor story till what is it called? Day of the Doctor?
Well, don't forget about dimensions of time, Ben. Don't forget about dimensions in time.
How could I forget Dimensions in Time?
And then also, like, technically, like the TV movie technically does have two doctors in it. If we're being technical,
It's a regeneration story. That's like saying Tom Baker's in Castrovalva. Like,
but it's different because that's
sure.
just the regeneration. It's too there's a lot of
I
screen
know
time
there's
of
like a
Sylvester
little.
McCoy.
It's what, 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a doctor show. So join us next week for that. I am excited. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Peace out, everyone.